We're back with some more scrumptious acquisition talk, and this time it appears Ubisoft. Yes, they could be next in line to be devoured. And it appears that this possible conclusion can be coming to us as a culmination of the reportedly toxic, predatory, and sexist work environment told to plague Ubisoft, as well as them just sort of being bad at this whole game making thing. So let's get into this. I'll just quote unquote quickly run down the basics of the goings on and the happenings so I can then get into the fun part, which is just fun thoughts and speculation. So as you may or may not be aware, Ubisoft has been facing external public backlash for well over a year now, based on allegations of a horribly toxic work environment surfacing and even resulting in a couple of lawsuits, not unlike our good friends over at Activision Blizzard. In fact, for a while it seemed that Blizzard and their demonic leader Bobby Kotick had taken the public stink eye off of Ubisoft, but with the fairly recent acquisition of Blizzard by Microsoft and reports saying that Bobby Kotick will be removed when the deal is finalized, it would seem that the gaming public ire has returned to good old Uwubi. Couple all this horrible press with stagnant games and presto, you've got even more horrible press. You see, Ubisoft has accrued a reputation for creating samey, soulless, bloated games that feel more like filler-stuffed cash grabs rather than the true creative endeavors we know games to be. If you don't know, these are the guys behind Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, Watch Dogs, Just Dance, and all the Tom Clancy shit. I also think they own Rayman, but he's in gaming jail or something. Either that or they swapped him out for the Rabbids, I don't know. But yeah, their flagship franchises like Assassin's Creed and Far Cry have both recently been heavily criticized for their lack of innovation and quantity over quality approach, with both series across their last couple of outings just being referred to as more of the same. Then there's low-effort spin-offs like the Rainbow Six Siege spin-off Extraction, trend-chasing live services like the recently shut down Hyperscape. It's gotten to the point that they can't even get a game out the door before people hate it now. When they announced their Overwatch-style hero shooter X Defiant, that thing got panned into the ground so hard by fans that they removed the Tom Clancy branding off of it. The thing's not even out yet, and it's so bad that it was besmirching the memory of Tom Clancy. If I've not already driven home this company's public perception, don't worry, I've got more. Their trend chasing didn't stop at trying to get in on the battle royale boom. Ubisoft thought they'd get in on the NFT craze too, introducing Ubisoft Quartz. This is the hub where Ubisoft expects players to trade and I guess sell NFTs to one another after earning and purchasing them in games. The first game they would implement NFTs into was the already failing Ghost Recon Breakpoint. They figured they could use Breakpoint as a testing ground before adding NFTs to more games, since Breakpoint was already basically dead in the water. Needless to say, fans didn't like the NFTs. There was considerable backlash, and Ubisoft basically replied with a statement that basically said, and I'm paraphrasing here, "You players are too stupid to see the vision." It didn't go over well. Then, when Ubisoft's own developers started speaking out against the implementation of NFTs, Ubisoft gifted them all digital NFT items as a thanks for all their hard work. These people are dense and stupid. But lastly, I'll say this. After a leak of a new multiplayer Ubisoft game got out, Ubisoft just went ahead and announced it, but only by codename. That codename being Project Q. And the first thing they have to do, even just announcing a game, is get on cleanup. Immediately after revealing Project Q, they tweeted, "It's not a battle royale and it doesn't have NFTs." It's hilarious. Like I said, they cannot get a game out the door without there being doubt, and for good reason. So now here we are in the here and now, and so many employees are leaving Ubisoft that it's being dubbed the Great Exodus. Like, damn, how many people have to fucking leave for you to name it the Great Exodus? Jesus Christ. But even the Ubisoft president's son, who is being groomed to head the company, said, "Nah, I'm out." Oh, like your fucking son is out of here. It's so garbage. But all of these things made the company's stock take a nosedive, and bing bang boom, here we are. There are now rumblings of Ubisoft being the next acquisition target. But who's targeting them? Well, this is the fun part, folks. It's speculation time, because I don't know a goddamn thing. So let's just jump into the fun ones. It isn't all that hard to imagine what it would look like if Microsoft acquired Ubi. I mean, they'd definitely scoop them up and then start slapping their new toys onto Game Pass, right? But would they make bigger games like a brand new Assassin's Creed, a day one release on Game Pass? I don't know. I obviously can't say anything for certain since we're firmly in speculation land now, but seeing as their entire games division strategy seems to hinge on bolstering Game Pass, with them even going so far as to slap big games like Halo and Starfield on there day one, it's not a far cry to imagine they'd put some Ubisoft bigger boys on the service, you know? And another interesting thought is, do they bring back some of Ubisoft's more creatively focused initiatives? Do we maybe see the return of Rayman, you know? Would they pump the brakes on the speed that we get Assassin's Creed games, you know? Similar to what was announced with Call of Duty and them planning to finally skip a year come 2023. There's just a lot that could happen, and, you know, hopefully they would be good things. You know, well, what if Sony buys them, right? I don't know what PlayStation would do with these guys. I feel like they definitely at least scale back the frequency and maybe even reboot Assassin's Creed entirely to come back better than ever, God of War style. Maybe Sony wouldn't nix all of the multiplayer offerings that Ubisoft has in the works, but could possibly rework them to, one, actually be good games, and two, have good online infrastructure and economy, likely with some help from Bungie, seeing as Sony acquired Bungie for that exact reason. You know, there's a lot of interesting possibilities here, but I think the biggest hope is that Ubisoft just becomes a better studio, both in terms of the way they treat their employees and the games they produce. As it stands now, there are lots of people who won't even engage with their games because of their mistreatment of workers and the like. For me personally, Ubisoft has just always had this remarkable ability to make games that I just don't give a shit about. Like, the games they put out always look aesthetically unappealing to me for whatever reason, and even if I could get past that, always hearing how bloated and samey their games are and how scummy their company is doesn't help at all. You know, hopefully all that can change. In fact, just the headlines of the idea of them being acquired has caused their company's value to rise. So yeah, I think it's safe to say them being bought out is a great idea. But yeah, it's Waifu Collector. That's all I've got for you today, man. Go out and be a cool human. Go out and find peace. And most importantly, go out and get you some maidens.